Thank you, everyone.
Hello. I'm not gonna lie, it's really weird having lights above us now, partly because I can't see you, and partly because I know I'm being really well lit. So, howdy, welcome to the All the Anime panel here on the Friday of MCM Comic Con London. You guys having a good day so far? You guys have got energy, this is impressive. It won't last. Just you wait till tomorrow. So Andy, what is on the docket for today?
Well, let's start with the thing we always start with. Is there anybody here who doesn't know who we are? Okay, there's a few hands, so I guess we have to do the bit.
Do the bit.
Do the bit.
I mean, I'm going to add a different bit. First of all, I love the fact the screen is above us now. Because for those of you who've not been to our panels before, usually it involves me trying to avoid the screen so you guys can actually see what's written. But now it's up there. So now it's just really the front row. If I stand far enough forward, then I just block your view. But anyway, the bit. Go.
Yeah, so we are Anime Limited, aka All the Anime, and we do lots of things in the sphere of anime. We give you beautiful collector's editions and indeed ultimate editions. Might be talking a little bit more about one of those soon. We bring anime to the cinema. Again, lots to talk about there. We bring anime to digital platforms. Funnily enough, lots to talk about there as well. And we do merchandise. If you've swung by our stand, you will have seen some of that. Some really nice Cowboy Bebop framed prints and lots of other stuff that we do as well. And most recently, we've started doing vinyl. And we might be...
that?
Yeah, that was getting scary. We might have a little something to say about that by the end of the weekend as well, if we're lucky.
So, we do the good old-fashioned DVD and Blu-ray. If that's your thing and that's all you want, we've got you covered. We do collector's editions, where we like to try and put our stamp on something that you'll be really proud to have on your shelf, try and throw some cool stuff in there as well. Then, as Andy mentioned, ultimate editions. That's where we pretty much break the bank, both ours and your wallets at times, including our infamous 8-kilogram Full Metal Alchemist one that came with a resin gate replica. Congratulations if you got that home from the post office, because one guy told me before he had to lug that thing 3 miles from the post office. That's all I've got, so carry on.
Oh, okay, fine. So, I mean, given that we've talked about vinyl, First Note is something that we have stock of right here on our stand here in the South Hall. It is the fully...
Wait, get it, change that back. We're not in the South Hall.
Are we not?
No, we're currently in the North Hall.
Well, yes, I know, but our stand...
Oh, you mean our shop?
Our shop is in
right,
the
okay.
You can see we rehearsed this really well. Yeah, so go to the South Hall where our stand is, not here where we are, and you will be able to purchase the Fully Complete vinyl soundtrack, the first pressing thereof, which is an awesome soundtrack. Like, it's a classic. Probably don't need to tell anybody who's seen the series there. It comes with that fantastic print that you can see up there, comes with some liner notes, and of course the soundtrack on 2 180-gram vinyls, and it sounds fantastic.
And for anyone interested, if you want to actually see a full unboxing of it, you can go over to the stand. We've got an open copy there for you. Or if you want, go to our YouTube channel, which is All the Anime on YouTube, and you can see the unboxing video that I totally didn't finish at 2 a.m. this morning. Maybe recording some voice for it in a stairwell.
Indeed, and also on a vinyl track, as it were. You can also currently pre-order our Silent Voice vinyl soundtrack via our online store. We opened up our early bird pre-orders for that recently, but it's worth mentioning, especially given that A Silent Voice is going to be in the cinema truck tomorrow, I believe. So if you haven't seen that film, you should really go see it, or buy our Blu-ray, I guess. But the soundtrack is great. It's a really beautiful first pressing vinyl that comes with the marbling effect. It has a really cool booklet as well that has a whole bunch of information in it as well, and it generally just looks really great. So that is our second vinyl release, and that will be coming very soon, as you can see, end of November, so not far to go.
Indeed, and just to reiterate what Andy said, the fact that it's got blue vinyl, as you can see up there, 1, looks really freaking cool. 2, that is only for the actual first pressing of the vinyl. So it's about to literally go into production imminently, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Yeah, so once that production has happened, there will not be any more blue vinyl made, but then after that fact, there will be another version, for want of a better phrasing, with traditional black vinyl.
Indeed, and that blue you see, it's actually like a marbling effect that's a bit like kind of shimmering water. So actually every single copy will look slightly different because the way that marbling effect works means that every single vinyl will be slightly unique. So that's a pretty cool thing, I think.
I think so.
Indeed. So back to stuff that is available at our stand. As anybody who's been following us this year will know, we've been going hard on Gundam. Many Gundam titles, and one of them that you can pick up at our shop is Mobile Suit Gundam 00, the Part 1 Collector's Edition.
Indeed. How many of you are familiar with Gundam 00? Cool. If you're not familiar with it, if you enjoyed Wing, imagine humanity really far in the future. They're still fighting, and now they've created elevators to go to space, and the entire world is split into 3 different territories, and the Gundams are actually people wanting to prevent war. And that's kind of the whole concept around it, and including some fantastic character names, including Alleluia Haptism. Honestly, it's really good fun. I've been checking it out the past month or so while we've been preparing for the release, and I've nearly got to the end of Part 1 myself, and it's really good fun. As someone who had not seen it before, if you're someone who's totally new to Gundam, I can say you could definitely just jump into this as a first-time Gundam viewer.
Indeed, and given that you mentioned Gundam Wing, we should probably mention Gundam Wing as well, because the entire thing, the entire TV series at least, is available at our stand.
If you people knew how frantically someone was driving in a truck across London this morning to bring Gundam Wing Part 2 here, weaving in and out of traffic through various random streets, and eventually they got to XL. We do have some copies of Part 2 here today ahead of its release next month. So if you want to own the whole series today, you literally can.
If only they'd had some kind of large robot that they could have transported them in. So yeah, we have a few other new titles at our stand as well. We have Jinro the Wolf Brigade, which is a classic film from the year 2000. And I think that might be one of my favourite collector's edition covers because it's just such an awesome piece of imagery. So we have that, really good film. We have Attack on Titan Roar of Awakening, the Season 2 recap film. If you go buy that from our store, you also get a really rather lovely set of 8 coasters to put your drinks on.
Yeah, it's a fun story when it comes to these coasters because we originally didn't have these for our set, and then to sort of shorten the story a tad, we ended up with a whole bunch of these coasters which depict random sort of moments from the manga of Attack on Titan. And we were sort of wondering what to do because they were used to promote the film in Japan because of the branding on the back of them. And in the end, we just thought, just make it a free bonus for anyone that gets it from either us at the show or from our shop. So that's what we're doing. So if you want a cool set of 8 coasters, you can either put your drinks on them or just frame them. They'll look really cool. You can get them if you buy that film.
Yep, indeed. And then finally we have Silver Spoon Season 2, the Collector's Edition. Season 1 also available at our stand. Is the creator of Fullmetal Alchemist making a series about farming, and it's really good. So, I don't know, go watch it. Like, I always want to wax lyrical about this series and have to stop myself because then we'll just never end, because I just love this show so much.
Agreed.
Good. So, who here likes a bargain? Okay, nobody likes a bargain. We'll skip that.
No, we'll skip that frame.
No, if you want a bargain, you should swing by to our stand if you haven't already, because as per May, we have the return of the mystery bag. This time around, we've changed things up a little bit. So for starters, we have 2 different variants. So we have 2 different bags that you could buy without any duplication between them. Each bag is £35. You get over £170 worth of anime if you look at SRPs for that. And it includes 1 collector's edition, 1 of our DVD-only releases, and 3 standard edition Blu-rays. So people are already snapping them up pretty fast, but if that sounds like a good deal to you, then you should probably go and grab 1, or maybe even 2.
Indeed, and the cool thing about a mystery bag, obviously, is you don't know what you're going to get, but what you may also end up discovering is you find an anime that you probably would never have watched that you're then actually really in love with. That's what we've heard from people in the past who have got one of our mystery bundles.
Yes, indeed. And so, again, anybody who's swung by our store will see that once again we are kind of we have some rather lovely next door neighbours in terms of our friends at Crunchyroll who have brought the carnival to town this time around. So lots of literal fun and games going on over there.
Before I came over, there was some kids playing one of the games, and it was fantastic just watching some of these kids just throwing bean bags trying to win some prizes. One of them, I think, nearly threw it over the stand, which I don't know how they pulled that off, but...
Yeah, I was a little bit worried that I might end up in like the line of sight to the beanbags, but thankfully not. So yeah, come on by the stand. You can play some games to win some prizes. There are also some other really nice Crunchyroll goodies that we're giving that you can buy. So there's water bottles, mugs, etc., etc. And as you can see that here, we also have some really awesome T-shirts from some of the kind of hot titles from this year. I kind of want one of each of those, but I don't think I'm allowed.
I know, I really want the Reincarnator as a slime T-shirt. I mean, I'm sure a pink T-shirt's going to look really weird on a giant, but that's a debate for another day. Yeah. But I really want that shirt.
I mean, I want to see you wearing that shirt now, but that's a whole other story. And also, if you're a Crunchyroll Premium member, come on by, because while stocks last, we do have free tote bags. So all of the stuff that you're having to carry around, I see some people in the front row have gone theirs already, so they're ahead of the game. But yeah, like if you need something to carry your stuff around in, and you're a Crunchyroll member or fancy signing up for a trial, then head on by their stand, and they will sort you out.
And even some free posters that people can get as well.
Yes, indeed. And then the lovely Stuart over there mentioned it in the build-up to this panel, but we do have a really, really awesome premiere here tonight at this very location. So if you're around at 5 p.m. and you want to see, if you want to be the first in the UK to see 2 new anime series before they're even released in Japan, then this is the place to be.
Indeed, and you know what the best thing is? Now the screen's raised, you know you'll be able to see the subtitles no matter where you sit in this room. I mean, I say that in fairness, to elevate the point even more, this is really, really cool that this event is happening here. I mean, also, the fact Jonathan Ross is going to be here at this thing. What? But we're getting 2 brand new shows that, do we even know when these are going to air yet?
I believe they're both January, so they're both in the new year. So you get to see them a good 3 months before they're actually going to air in Japan or on Crunchyroll.
So the fact you get to see them this early is mental, and it's really, really cool. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to come along to it, because very selfishly, I want to watch them too.
Yep, likewise here. So we're going to be fighting over that one later, I suspect. We may have to play one of the Crunchyroll games to see who gets the honour of watching the UK premieres. Another thing that is very important about this weekend is, once again, MCM have brought some fantastic guests to Comic-Con. No less than the director of Cowboy Bebop, Shinichiro Watanabe, who is also the chief director of a new Netflix series, Carol and Tuesday. So he will be here, as well as the outright director of Carol and Tuesday, Mr. Motonobu Hori. So again, you will be able to meet them over the weekend. We have a guest of honour panel, which that time has changed slightly, so we probably need to correct that at some point. And there are also signing sessions over the weekend as well.
I don't know what you're talking about, Andy. It totally says the panel is at 11:15, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So yeah, 11:15 tomorrow morning in this very room, guys. You'll be able to catch the anime guest of honour panel, and it should be a good time. Going to be talking about Carol and Tuesday, which, if you haven't checked it out already, is currently on Netflix. It's the first half of the series, correct?
That is correct.
First half of the series is currently on Netflix, and no doubt there'll be some other questions and bits and bobs going on as well. And of course, you guys will have the opportunity to put your questions to the guests as well.
Indeed, and then the signing sessions, where the time is correct, 2:30 to 3:30 in the signing area, both Saturday and Sunday. Come along, it's a free signing. We have free signing cards based around Carol and Tuesday as well. Or, if you want Mr. Watanabe to sign something really cool, you could come by our stand and buy one of these awesome framed posters.
So, a quick update on this. So, there are 5 designs you can see up there. 2 of them, which are...
The Faye and the Spike reversed ones.
There you go. They were actually a set that there was a very limited quantity of. They are gone. They are sold out. But the other ones are still available for £15 each. And if you ask me, the one on the side closest to me, the one which is titled Cowboy Edge, I think looks really freaking rad. And I want one.
Yeah, quite a few people have picked those up already, so it seems popular. So yeah, those are available. They're all £15, so why not go and grab one and then get it signed by the director of the series. Now, I've got a question for you, Jeremy.
Oh no.
Would you like to be a space cowboy?
I feel like there's a lot to unpack with this question, but we haven't got a huge amount of time, so yes.
Good, because in Q1 of 2020, you can play the Cowboy Bebop board game, which will allow you to do just that. So yeah, we have a demo unit of this on show in one of our display plinths over at the stand, so if you're interested, go take a look. But you can also answer some more questions if you want to know some of the specifics about it. But yeah, as of Q1 2020, the Cowboy Bebop Space Serenade game will be released in retail. We will be selling it at our alltheanime.com store. So if you're a board game player and you like this kind of thing and it looks really awesome, then keep your eyes peeled for that, because we will have more news on when that goes up for order pretty soon, hopefully.
Indeed, we're doing board games as well now, people, because, you know, anime isn't enough, soundtracks isn't enough, books aren't enough, Ultimate Editions aren't enough, so now board games. Because that's how we roll here. No pun intended, genuinely. But
that's a shame, because that was actually a really good pun. You should have taken the credit for that.
Oh well.
But anyway, the one thing you neglected to mention in that list is cinemas, because we have a busy time in the cinemas over the coming months. Was anybody here at Scotland Loves Anime over the last few weeks? Okay, a fair few of you. I thought I saw some familiar faces. So you may have already seen the two films we're going to talk about here, but if you haven't, I'm sure you will join me in saying you really need to go and see both of these films. The first one is coming to cinemas next month, and that is Studio Trigger's first theatrical feature premiere. On the 26th of November, you can find subtitle screenings around the UK, and on the 28th of November, we have a whole bunch of dubbed screenings. Premierefilm.co.uk is the place to go to see where the nearest screening to you is. If there aren't screenings near you, let your local cinemas know, let us know, and you know, we're always kind of taking that feedback. Can't guarantee we'll be able to get you a screening, you know, right outside your front door or anything, but it's useful information for us to have, and we'll certainly try and pass it on to the relevant parties where we can.
Indeed, and for those of you not familiar with Studio Trigger, you may know their work from Kill la Kill. Also, the director of Gurren Lagann is heavily involved in this film as well. So, if they're up your alley, this film's up your alley. I couldn't make that work any better, but you get what I mean.
Indeed, and again, for people who were at Scotland Loves Anime, I'm sure they will mirror the fact that this is a really good film to watch with an audience, because the audience will be hype and they will get very excited, and then you will get even more excited, and it just turns into this whole feedback loop of awesomeness.
If you've got a bunch of people that you like to go to the cinema with, or you've got a bunch of friends who you think might just be up for something as insane as this film, or heck, if you're part of like an anime society and you think this would be a good time to get a whole bunch of people together, this is going to be a fun time at the end of November.
Indeed, but actions speak louder than words, so for anyone who hasn't seen anything about the film, we're going to play the trailer for you. There you go. Hands up if you think that looks awesome. Okay, everyone
Good.
in agreement. That looks awesome.
Thank God for that.
So yeah, 26th of November subtitled, 28th of November dubbed. Now, you might be thinking, you know, who would believe us about this film being awesome? And who would believe the trailer? Like, maybe we should get some other people to pop up on this screen and to say a few words to maybe convince you even more that this is a film that you should go and see.
Anyone in particular?
Let's see who it is. Go, premierefilm.co.uk, book it and enjoy it. Which takes us to another film. Who here has watched Your Name? Good, because the next film from Makoto Shinkai, Weathering With You, is coming to UK cinemas right across the country on the 17th of January 2020. So set that date in your diary, make sure nothing else is going on in your life that day, because you need to go to the cinema and watch his amazing new film.
The amount of people I can see right now legit making a note on their phones about this is awesome. I wish there was a way we could just like somehow beam out like a notification that's just like, add this to your calendar, because that would be the best.
If only.
Stuart, can we make that happen?
No.
We'll talk.
So yeah, the new film from Makoto Shinkai, again, premiered at SLA last weekend. It won the audience awards, so people like it, I think it's fair to say. And it is a fantastic film, like everything you could hope for if you've watched Your Name, with a little bit on top. But again, if you're still not convinced, or somehow you've not managed to watch Your Name yet, then let's see a trailer for the film. There you go, how beautiful does that film look?
Excited? Good.
Yeah, so Weathering With You, coming to UK cinemas 17th of January 2020.
Ticket information will be coming very, very soon on that, guys. Can't share it today, as it were, but stay tuned. If you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we're at All The Anime on all of them, if that's any help. As soon as the information is available, we will share it.
For sure. So, yeah, I guess we will move now from going out to the cinema to staying in to watch some anime, because people who might have seen on some of the screens outside in the main concourse will know that we have some pretty big news today in terms of streaming anime and video on demand. because we have paired up with Channel 4 and their All 4 service to bring 100 hours of anime to their platform, which is pretty awesome, I would say.
It's pretty damn great.
It's been something that we've wanted to do for a long time. I mean, people who followed us for a while will know that we've aired anime on Viceland, on their TV channel, and you know, it's really important to us that as many people as possible get to see anime and get to kind of understand what it is and enjoy it, and you know, become anime fans like you guys. And obviously, kind of the major networks are a really big factor in that. So for quite a while, we've been looking at, you know, ways we can get into, you know, the big main channels and into the platforms that they have. And as it happens, Channel 4 came along and they were really interested in the content that we have and really interested in kind of, you know, drilling into the fantastic kind of content that the anime can bring them. And so, yeah, they booked 100 hours of the stuff to go on All 4. It's available right now, so if you head to the All 4 service on channel4.com, you will find all sorts of amazing series, including seasons 1 and 2 of Tokyo Ghoul, all of Charlotte, which is a really great little underrated series in my opinion, Cowboy Bebop, which again I don't think needs any introduction, Megalobox, which is a fantastic recent series that we will be bringing to home video soon. We also have Durarara, which another classic that everybody should see. Escaflowne, Dragon Dentist, which is kind of a Studio Kara piece that was originally part of the Japan Animator Expo. And for the Gundam fans, Gundam The Origin. That's just a few of the highlights of the content that you can find on All 4 right now.
There isn't really much more to say, is there? It's such a great thing. Like I'm not sure how many of you guys have used the All 4 service before, but it is something I use pretty regularly. I've got the PS4 app, it works great, it's running on multiple devices, and the fact that it's also a service that potentially a lot of people who aren't familiar with anime will just discover anime on it. And that's great because we want more people to be aware of it, so we can continue coming to events like this, bring more films to cinemas, heck, potentially more stuff being shown on TV down the line. Who knows? The possibilities are endless.
Indeed. So, you know, even if, you know, you guys have already seen a lot of those series, you know, if you have friends who are kind of on the fence or maybe interested in getting into anime, it's a good place to send them because, you know, saying go to Crunchyroll if you're not already an anime fan, you know, might be a harder sell. Say go to Channel 4, which they probably already use, you know, where it's sat alongside other box sets, why not? So also, anybody who's dug into the whole All 4 thing already, who's, you know, pulled out their phone and had a look, might notice one or two series that we've not talked about before, but we can now because they're ours. And so, let's talk about a couple of new titles. And when I say new titles, they're new titles to us, but they're old classics in the grand scheme of things.
I mean, there might be new titles to some people out there.
Indeed, they might well be. We shall find out. So let's play the trailer for the first one. And I will warn you, this is not a high-resolution trailer. It's the best thing we have right now, so if it's just like 4 pixels, then please don't blame me. I think they liked it.
On the list of predictions you can't expect in this world, that is probably one of them. Yes, folks, Inuyasha.
Yeah, indeed. So that is just Inuyasha Season 1 currently, so the first 27 episodes. You can watch it right now on All 4. And given that reaction, I feel like I should watch it because I've never seen Inuyasha, but like people seem excited, so I feel like I should fix that. But yeah, it's also coming soon to home video. Really no news on how we're going to release that yet. We're not even sure, you know, whether we'll be able to do Blu-ray. That should be okay. Not sure whether we'll have enough materials to do a good collector's edition. So we're very much keeping our options open until we see exactly what we can do with that. But yeah, you can watch Inuyasha right now on Channel 4, and you'll be able to own it on home video soon too.
And luckily, some of you are excited.
Yes, indeed.
Out of interest, I'm genuinely curious, how many of you know of Inuyasha?
Okay.
Cool,
Well,
great, freaking great.
So now I'm worried because I'd staged this so that we could top that one with something even better, but
oh no.
Can we do something better than Inuyasha? Can we get an even bigger reaction for the next one?
I guess we're about to find out.
I'm not sure anymore, but let's try. I think we did it.
Yep.
So yeah, Cardcap Sakura, you can watch what is effectively the first season, which is the first half of the show, right now on all four. But we will be bringing the entire thing to Collector's Edition Blu-ray. Some of you might remember, like a fair while ago, we announced that we were going to be releasing the second movie, and I think we were both doing all we could to just wink at you on stage that this meant we were going to license a TV series, and now finally we can actually talk about it and say, we've announced the full TV series.
Previously as an All the Anime panel.
Yes, indeed. So again, nothing specific in terms of time frame or exactly what our collector's edition is going to look like, but it is coming and we're going to be working on it. And I mean, some of us in the office, we have some massive Cardcaptor Sakura fans in the office that pretty much went through the ceiling as soon as like the license for that arrived.
It was Kat. Anyone who follows us on social media has listened to our podcast, it was Kat. She went mental when we found out about this. But also, we should clarify, this is for the original series of Cardcaptor Sakura we're talking about. It's not the most recent one.
Yes, indeed. It is not Clear Card. It is the OG Cardcaptor Sakura. So let's move on to, I don't know, how about a new Ultimate Edition? We've not done one of those in a little while.
Actually, we haven't, have we?
No, it's been.
I'm genuinely thinking about that just now. When did we last do one?
Yeah, our last one was Perfect Blue, which was fantastic, and well worth looking at. Fantastic classic film. But this is another case of a series that we announced a while ago, and we had plans to release it, and then we got a hold of the materials for it, and there was just so much. Like, we had this fantastic, almost like a series Bible. We got permission to use the soundtrack, and as it all piled onto our desk, we said, this has to be an Ultimate Edition. And so I bring you the Be the Beginning Blu-ray Ultimate Edition. You might have seen it on Netflix. If not, you can still go check it out there. It's a really cool series by Production IG that's kind of part murder mystery thriller, part supernatural anime, directed by Kazuto Nakazawa, who did stuff like The Animatrix. It's really cool in all kinds of ways, and so we wanted to really do it justice. And so this is a first provisional pack shot of what our Ultimate Edition will look like. In terms of size, it's going to look a lot like Perfect Blue, so it's going to be a similar kind of A4 size to that. But as you can see, it contains the first season on Blu-ray. We have the full original soundtrack on CD. You get a set of 4 A4 art prints, which will make for fantastic posters. They're not going to be folded or anything, so they will be pristine for you to display wherever you want. And above all else, we'll have a 164-page A4 book, which, as I mentioned, is just packed with details about the series, packed with artwork. It's one of the best collector's books we've done, which is why we've given it the Ultimate Edition treatment.
Yeah, to peek behind the curtain and sort of explore this a little bit more, when we put together any release, we're supplied with certain materials that we can use, and sometimes we ask, is there anything else perhaps that we can get, or if there's a particular piece of art that we're aware of and we would love to include if we can, we try and get clearance to be able to use it. This is a case where literally we received the materials and we were overwhelmed with what we were given, and like we said, the book, it's insane how much info is in this book.
Yeah, it is. As somebody who had to proofread it all, I can tell you, it took me a while. So yeah, it's really exciting. We might actually have some more exciting news about this as well in the future, but that's not quite signed and sealed yet. So, we'll
tease.
Yeah, we'll share more on that as and when that gets confirmed. But we're really excited about this one, and hopefully, especially when we get to dig into what's in that book, I think people will see that it is going to be well worth their time. And so we're pretty much done here, but there is just one final thing that we want to make people aware of. One other very cool thing that is going on over the weekend, kind of a little bit outside of the walls of MCM, but you might know about Reddit Ask Me Anythings, and so we've managed to arrange to do one with Shinichiro Watanabe. So that will be taking place online tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. So if you want to, as the title goes, ask Shinichiro Watanabe anything, you can do so via Reddit.
I dare someone to ask him, does he like Coke or Pepsi?
That's our thing. He's not allowed. Ask him anything apart from that. That's our copyright now.
Our copyright? What?
Yes, I don't know. I've just decided.
Let's continue trending before we get lost in this.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. So that is everything that we have. So I think we've got a little bit of time for a couple of questions. If anybody has anything that they would like to ask.
I've just heard from the patent office. They said no, you can't trademark it. Sorry.
They're no fun.
Now I'm going to let this guy go first because I remember him from the last 2 or 3 panels. So.
Hello.
Yo.
Violet Evergarden. Anything newsworthy?
Maybe soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is still being worked on. We don't have anything kind of concrete at the moment. Obviously, recent events have kind of put things on hold a little bit. But yeah, it's still coming. Obviously, we want to make it as cool as we possibly can. It's an awesome show. There's the OVA and the film coming out in Japan, which is also really cool to see. So no, nothing concrete to report. But fear not, it is very much on the docket. So I suspect next year will be the year that we get to do something cool with that.
Answered well, you did. Right, next question down the front. Please keep your hands up so I can come around to you.
Hi, I was wondering if there was any news on Love Life Sunshine or Marge Comes In Like a Lion.
So Love Life Sunshine Season 2, that is very definitely coming. It's taken a bit longer than we would have liked. I imagine it's probably not going to be 2019 at this point because we're running out of 2019, but that's definitely on our 2020 list, I think, as well. March Comes In Like a Lion, we don't actually have the rights to Season 2 yet, but I mean, I think we're certainly keen to get it and to finish that series, and I'm a massive fan of it, so I go on about it in the office far too much.
He does.
So yeah, like we don't have anything firm to say on March Season 2 until we actually get the rights to it, but it is very much something we're aware of and we know that people want it.
And we're in the middle.
Oh, the lights are moving.
Got a spotlight.
Sorry, I wasn't ready for that, sorry.
Is Cardcaptor Sakura only going to be subtitled, or will there be a dub version?
That is a very good question, Andy.
Thanks, Jeremy. You're right. That is a very good question.
You can find out now on all 4.
I'm pretty sure that it will because there is an English dub in existence for it. So I would imagine it will be. Again, all of that is very much to be clarified. But if there's a dub and it's available to us, it will definitely be on the release. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
As far as I'm aware, though, do not expect the Nickelodeon version. That's what I'll say.
No, that is true.
Any more questions? Down the front.
Down the front.
Okay, a couple more. While I'm on the move, here's a question for you. Is it Pepsi Max Cherry or Pepsi Max Raspberry?
Raspberry?
You see, I thought you were going to say cherry. Even I'm surprised by this. Sorry, we're derailing this a little bit here. But...
Find out more on our next podcast. I don't know. No, raspberry all the way.
The Great Pepsi Debate is the title of your next podcast, isn't it? Right, let's move down to this lady here.
The partnership you did with Channel 4 about showing the anime, you're gonna do it. You're gonna show it on TV as well, or just Channel 4 online on the computer?
At the moment, it's just all 4, the actual all 4 servers. But hey, who knows down the line what can happen? It'd be really cool if we could get on TV, though. Anything on TV.
Yeah, for sure. At the moment,
actual TV.
Yeah, at the moment they're kind of very separate entities, really. So yeah, this is really just about all 4. But I mean, obviously, if it does well and it's on their radar, then it may tempt them to look at putting it on their channels. So
hopefully in the future they'll be all for it.
So we will see. Like we definitely love to see anime on national TV. Like that would be a huge feather in our cap and a huge feather in the UK anime cap as a whole. But no news on that at the moment.
Right, and it's back to this young gentleman.
So, if all the anime team basically got transported into another place, as in Isekai.
Oh god, where's this going?
Who's going to be the overpowered character?
Cat. Our graphic designer will be the overpowered character. I would probably just be the bumbling fool, I guess, to make sense.
You see, what I think is going to happen is Keith, our product manager, drinks an awful lot of energy drinks.
If he could get a sponsorship from Seriously, if anyone here works for an energy drink company, hit us up, because I want to get Keith a sponsorship. If you saw how much he drinks.
Yeah, so my theory is that he'll be transported into the other world, he'll find some kind of elixir that he really likes, and it'll turn out to be the thing that makes him like level 999 forever, and then he'll be like the super overpowered character. So that's my answer.
What would you be?
I'd probably I'd be that guy that dies in the first chapter to like prove what the rules of the world are. Like, these are the things you shouldn't do in another world.
What would our boss Andrew be then?
I want to keep my job, so I'm just going to not say anything about that one.
I'm glad we both have the same answer on that.
Okay, so we've got time for a couple more questions if you'd like to ask our guest any question. Please stick your hand up and I will come round to you.
You got anything to ask us, Stuart? You've normally got like an extra question in the back pocket.
Well, I was going to say, I did have one question for you.
Go on.
We've got this great deal with all four, which everyone in the room is extremely happy about. But what shows would you like to put on there? If you could put any show on there that you think people should see, what would it be and why?
Oh man.
So this is the not towing the company line answer now, is it?
That could be whatever, it can be anything.
God, yeah, there are so many things. I mean, everybody loves Neon Genesis Evangelion, especially now it's on Netflix. So I mean,
You say that with such dismay.
Yeah, no, like it's a good thing. I mean, you know, but it would be amazing to see that like on national TV. So that would probably be my answer. But then that Evangelion is my answer to most things. So.
It would depend if it's going to. There's two ways to think about it. The old school fan in me just says, I want something old and wacky like Dominion Tank Police.
Yeah,
but I know that will probably polarize a lot of people. So if I'm going to go with something else, maybe.
Say a Manchu, Jeremy.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, a Manchu, in fairness. Just a fun rant. Actually, that might polarize people as well, in fairness. But,
Possibly.
But yeah, just fun school life, slice of life, scuba diving.
There you go.
What more do you want?
Okay, and we have a question for the front row.
There was a big deep breath just then, so.
Subtitled or dubbed?
Sub or dub, alright, hang on. How long we got? Can I take a seat? Or...
in 2 minutes.
So my answer is, honestly, I'm either or. That isn't just me copping out. Andy can vouch for this. I watch a heck of a lot of stuff dubbed, but then I can also watch it subbed. Sometimes I do probably a cardinal sin. I just flip-flop between the two, depending mainly if my eyes are knackered or not. That's usually what it comes down to. I'm fine with it. There are some dubs, I will say, that are harder on the ear than others, but at the same time, I like to give them both a try, partly because I like to know both sides of the spectrum, particularly for the kind of job I'm in, but also as a fan, I'm just curious to know how has it been adapted for an English-speaking audience in vocal form. Because sometimes it's really interesting to see the decisions they've made, and maybe you think, okay, that actually works quite well, or you sometimes go, that's not a voice I was expecting. Sometimes it's just a really interesting take on it.
For me, subtitles. Mic drop.
Don't drop it, we'll have to pay for it.
No. No, I mean, you're absolutely right. They're all really good dubs. There are some dubs that are probably like better than the Japanese original in some senses. But yeah, I've just always watched stuff subtitled, and it's just what I'm used to. So yeah, I'm that guy.
But watch the dub for Gundam Wing.
Oh yeah, that is true.
And we've got a question here.
Okay, Raptilia or Nazuko?
I actually couldn't hear that, sorry.
Ractilia or Nazuko?
Would you like me to translate for you?
Yeah, go on. I've been up for like 5
So
minutes.
Raptilia is one of the main female characters from Rising of the Shield Hero. Has, like,
Right, see, so
fluffy
I've not
hair.
actually seen the show yet. This is why I just blanked.
Yeah, and Nezuko is one of the main female characters from Demon Slayer, and is also the right answer.
I'll answer Mari from Evangelion. See, no one expected that except for one person applauding. Thank you, mic drop.
Okay, then we got time for I think one more question, haven't we? So, if you mentioned this Ari earlier, but if you got reincarnated as a slime, which power would you like to absorb and have, and why?
This is a thrilling bit of content now, isn't it? Just us standing here thinking. Well, okay, so I'll set this up and give Andy time to think of an answer by saying, first of all, in terms of the appearance of the slime that I would either have to be the biggest slime ever or the tiniest thing. Because my life is full of irony being a giant. So I need to be either at the top end of the spectrum or the polar opposite.
I mean, right now I'd just like to absorb the ability to make it through a Comic-Con without sleep, because that would actually be really handy. But apart from that, I have no idea.
Oh, I think that's the first time I've ever perplexed both of you with a question.
I'm just trying to think of like what powers mainly.
Yeah,
Like,
it depends how broad those abilities go. Because if you could manipulate time or something, then I'd be all for that. But that might be asking a bit much, even as a slime.
I mean, just the ability just to. Do you know what? Actually, if I could have any power, for me to be able to just like do cardio exercise and not feel tired. I know that seems like a weird thing, especially as a guy that mainly does yoga as his exercise. But man, I get tired. I just want to do cardio. I hate running. Just let me already have done cardio. Let me think I've already done it and it's happened.
I love how both of our answers are basically just like, we're so tired, just something that makes us not tired.
What's that gag from The Simpsons? Star Trek 12, so very tired.
Yeah, that is now officially the name of this panel. All the Anime presents, so very tired.
Well, you're not getting to me. You want some yoga now.
On that bombshell.
Yes, that brings us to the end of our panel.
Indeed, so you can join us again. We are actually over on the live stage on Sunday. Not at that time, that is also wrong, isn't it, right? I think it's at like 11:15 or something now.
We're back on Sunday morning
Yeah.
at the live stage.
Around that kind of approximate time. So yeah, we'll have some more news.
After doors have opened.
Yeah, we'll have some more news. We've got another announcement or two up our sleeve. And again, we'll take more questions. So, you know, maybe you can ask Jeremy to do yoga again and he'll say yes this time. Not promising anything though.
What has this suddenly turned into? Jeremy's fitness panel.
I'm not planking on a Sunday morning. Are you kidding me?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, give me a massive round of applause for Andy Hanley and the brilliant Jeremy. Great!
Thank you, everyone.
And don't forget, you can find their stand where they will be selling some of the great things they mentioned there over by in the main hall there, just opposite the live stage. Please do pop by and grab one of the mystery bags. I'm very tempted. And also, a strange request, but if anyone can please pick up their doll from the side of the thing over there, that great, thank you. I was getting very worried that someone had left that behind and we might have to explain to some young child what it was.